Hey everyone, Nat Richards from Tex on the Move here, and I might be a little bit early, but we're celebrating Australia Day Down Under, 26th of January as it always is. And I thought, I'm feeling a little bit patriotic and home proud at the moment. I'm going to go out there and chuck a video up about the things that I love about Australia, and in true Aussie fashion, I'm going to call it Nat's Flamin' 5 things that I love about Australia the most. So everyone's going to have their own list. This I think is a fairly broad one that a lot of Aussies would agree with, and certainly we're all very lucky to be a part of this fantastic country. Even though it's not perfect, it's pretty damn good. So number one, the thing that I love about Australia the most, in no particular order, number one is going to be our laid back culture, and I reckon you can sum a lot of that up with the way that we way overuse the word mate, and I'm about as guilty of that as any other person in Australia. So admittedly it is a bit of a blokey thing. Mate is a word that we all throw around too much, but I think it sort of taps into that root of laid back and very relaxed vibes that comes through Australian culture. We don't take things too seriously. We like a laugh and a joke, and even when we're put under stress and we're feeling the pressure, Aussies do tend to deal with that pretty well. We're just not we're not the sort to get riled up, and it makes life a little bit easier that way. Number two is an obvious one. I'm going to go for natural blessings and weather. So it's not really a secret. Australian weather is pretty awesome. It doesn't really matter where you go. You get a great mix of seasons without too many extremes one way or another. And of course, we've got a naturally amazing country to enjoy that in. Be it world-class beaches all over the place, or some really truly amazing bushscapes, as we call it, national forests. Things that can get you away from the beach and enjoying other activities. My personal favourite, of course, is mountain biking, for those who have talked to me. I don't think that there's many places around the world that can hold a candle to that, and it even gets into our bigger areas as well. You need look no further than that beautiful aspect of Australian life coming into an urban area than Sydney. It's a natural wonderland, no other way to put it. Number three, our sense of humour, which I think is something that takes a bit of getting used to. It's not easy for an Aussie to see that, because when you grow up with it, it seems obvious, but ultimately Australian humour is very dry. We tend to be quite witty though. We do like taking the piss a little bit, so people, I'm sure, that have come down here tend to have to get used to that, sometimes the hard way if you're in an automotive workshop. But ultimately I think that humour is a very strong thread in Australian society that tends to make light of heavy times, and it's something that tends to make the day bobble along really well. Number four, national stability. So a little bit more of a serious note. National stability, I think we're very fortunate down here to live in a country that is absolutely not perfect by any means, but ultimately is a very stable, very easy place to live with a high standard of living. It's very prosperous, and Aussies tend to take that for granted, where people coming from overseas may not be so fortunate until they get here. Number five, closely related, I guess, in a way, opportunity. So thankfully, Australian society is still very much the sort of place where if you've got big dreams, great work ethic, a good head on your shoulders, and you're prepared to put in the hard work, you will get what's coming to you. And I know that that's getting harder and harder around the world, but in Australia, I definitely think it holds true. We've seen that turn out, of course, not just for Aussies, but also plenty of people from overseas working in the automotive trades, which are, of course, our speciality. We could rattle off plenty of success stories of people who have come here in years gone past, stuck with it, worked hard, and have climbed their way up the ranks to enjoy more and more and more of the fruits of their labour. So there you go, guys. That's my top five, my Flamin' 5. Happy Australia Day. If you've got any ideas about or any things that you think really stand out about Australia, let's throw them in the comments. I'd love to check that out. Thanks.